Many of us have been taught one very simple thing that if you want to be successful, you have to work hard. And not just work hard once, work hard, harder and harder and harder and harder. Almost like the effort is never ending, almost like the harder it is, the more legitimate it is. But don't get me wrong, I understand that things require effort. However, as I think more and more about this, I've been coming to a realization. And the realization is I'm ambitious, I'm driven, I'm goal oriented, and I don't believe in hard work. You heard me right. I don't believe in hard work. And when I have my notes because I want to be very clear on when I articulate what I'm saying here is when I say I don't believe in hard work, I want to make it very clear that I am not talking about no or low effort because things require effort. I get that. Writing a book requires effort, building a business requires effort, and showing up every day requires effort. And I've done all of them. But what I want to make clear is that effort and hard work culture or hustle culture or grind culture is not the same thing. It's not the same thing. I feel like for so long we've been taught that very specific thing that hard work equals success. And that the harder you work, the more you sacrifice, the more you struggle, the more you endure, the more you push through, the more successful you will be. And I've lived that life. I've gone through it, and I'm just having my beliefs have drastically changed around that idea or belief. Because when you have that mindset, you accept the idea of the constant struggle, the constant sacrifice, the constant push through, the constant go, 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 the constant do, do, do. Almost like that's the proof that you're doing something meaningful or impactful. So if you guys have been here and watching me over these 100 days, you know that I burnt out in healthcare corporate America. I was in a leadership role, like life altering burnout. Like if I would have stayed in that job, it would have been real, real bad type of burnout. So I ended up leaving that role and taking a nearly 10-month sabbatical to heal, get clear, and just get my life together, my mind and my body together. I've lived the working hard life. I've lived the achievement. I've lived the pushing through. I've done it. I've done it. So I'm speaking from a place of experience. And now I'm just in a place where I'm not willing to pay that cost that I paid for that before. It costed me way too much in things that you can't get back. It really did make a major impact on my health and wellness. And that time, like, I can't get back. So in this season of my life, I'm just not interested in the type of success that requires me to abandon myself, push through at any cost, achieve at any cost. I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested. What I am interested in and what I am building and practicing is doing good work, doing meaningful work, doing aligned work, doing impactful work. I don't want to be in the space of, you're working hard just for the sake of almost like you're trying to prove something. I'm just not interested in that. Again, I've lived it, I've experienced it, and I had to pay a cost that I'm just never, ever willing to pay again. So it's just really made me rethink my relationship with work. Again, I'm an ambitious woman. Like, I've built and am building multiple things. And that requires effort. But what I'm not willing to do is do that at any cost and sacrifice my health and my well-being for any level of achievement, money, access, any of that. I'm not willing to do it. And honestly, for the women who watch my videos, women like you don't need to really work harder because you already know what to do. If you're watching this video, you identify as ambitious, driven, goal-oriented, responsible, reliable, like working hard, I don't even want to say that. It's a skill you already have. Again, you already know how to put forth effort. I'm sure you've probably had some type of success in your career as well. That's not what you need. The real question here is, what kind of work are you doing? Are you doing aligned work? Are you doing meaningful work? Are you doing impactful work? Are you using your skills, education, certifications, training in that way? And that's where I ultimately burnt out at, because I was in such a state of misalignment in my career. Like, I was chasing a career, a job, goals, a title. I had achieved all these things, but it wasn't even really what I wanted. It was everything that society had told me, my family had told me, like, this is what you're supposed to do. And ultimately, it really wasn't. And I want you to kind of think about that for yourself. Like, what type of work are you doing? Or are you just proving that you can endure something difficult? Like, not interested, not interested. And again, I understand that things require effort. I'm going to use 3 very specific examples from my own very life. Last year, I released a book. Writing a book requires a lot of effort, and it requires a lot of time. It took me nearly 1 year to write the book, and then everything that comes into getting the actual book out. And there was no AI with my book. I wrote every word myself. And it was almost kind of before, it was like slightly before AI like became a thing, that I had started writing my book. Writing a book, if you've never written a book, baby, it requires a lot of effort and a lot of time. Building a business requires a lot of effort. This is the business that I'm building now is my second business that I've had. And if you know anything about being an entrepreneur, it requires a lot of effort. And I'm an entrepreneur still navigating a traditional 9-to-5 in corporate America. So that living in both those worlds requires a lot of effort. Showing up here on YouTube every day. I'm like, I think this might be day 35. I just did a video about like how I'm feeling about showing up here every day on this, journey to 100 days. This requires a lot of effort, because even though I've been showing up here for the last, today makes 35 days, I haven't embodied this yet. This isn't just who I am, just my normal, okay, today we shoot a YouTube video. I'm not there yet. So this still requires a lot of effort, even though I've been able to release a lot of barriers. Like, for example, not editing my videos and just showing up here talking to the camera normally, maybe having a few notes. And I've been able to remove a lot of barriers to release some of the effort that it requires, but it still requires a lot of effort to show here. So again, I want to make it very clear that while I'm saying I don't believe in hard work, I'm not saying that I believe in no effort or low effort, because things require effort. What I want to kind of start to encourage people to unravel is that hard work in the endlessness of it, the idea that we've been taught that, yeah, when you're building something, you might have to work hard in the beginning, but that doesn't have to go on until perpetuity, like just endless hard work, because it's not sustainable. And the hard work I feel that we've been raised on is struggle, sacrifice, difficulty, pushing through at any cost. Like, and I'm just not interested. I'm not interested. So again, I just want to make that very clear that I'm not saying I don't believe in work, because baby, one thing I'm going to do is work, but I'm more interested in aligned work, particularly because I've seen the impact of how aligned work really helps me elevate my life in sometimes intangible ways, especially around my health and wellness, especially around being able to work with clients that you choose, doing work that you choose inside of containers or environments that you choose. That really means a lot. That's all alignment. Those are the things, that's the type of work that I'm interested in, that I'm doing, and that I'm ultimately trying to build for myself full time. Because I have written here, because if we keep believing that success must feel hard, we might continue to choose the hardest path, like seek out the hardest path over and over and over again, when that might not even be necessary. You know what I mean? So I just really want, again, as I'm talking and having these conversations over these 100 days, it is me sharing many beliefs that I've had to unlearn and untangle around work, around identity, around capacity, around rest, around creativity. And that's why I'm having these types of conversations. So like I said before, I believe in ambition. I believe in achievement. I just don't believe at doing those things at any cost, and especially not at the cost of your health and wellness. So the question I've been sitting with lately, and I want to ask you, is what if effort and suffering aren't the same thing? If you could untangle that for yourself, putting effort towards something, and suffering through something, the hard work, what if that's not the same thing? To me, it's not. I've made it very clear. It's not the same thing for me. So I'll have one question. If you can relate to any of this, let me know down in the comments. Let me know down in the comments if you can relate and what your thoughts may be on this. Again, I've achieved a certain level of success in my life, and I walked away from it all just because it was costing me my health and wellness in a way that I wasn't willing to pay anymore. And now I'm in a season of rebuilding in a very intentional, aligned, meaningful, impactful way. And I wouldn't choose anything else. So, do you think success requires hard work, or do you think we've just been conditioned to believe that? Let me know down in the comments. Or if you have anything else you might want to share with me on this topic. I know this can be a little controversial, but I just wanted to, put this conversation out there, see who it resonates with. And yeah, I'm Erica Prevail, and I share daily conversations helping driven, purpose-led women rework their relationship with ambition, capacity, rest, and creativity. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.